I just wanted to check in really quick and do a quick video on some of the benefits or silver linings from this virus, because I think it's important to keep that perspective and recognize that maybe we as a society work too hard and spend more time working and stressing out and being anxious about work and worrying, a tie into minimalism here, worrying about how we're going to pay for all of our stuff, when in fact a life of anti-consumerism and anti-materialism might eliminate some of those worries, right? If you were less worried about buying and keeping up with the Joneses and impressing your friends or even impressing strangers, you'd have more money, you'd have more savings, potentially more investments, maybe you'd have a higher quality of life. At the very least, you would be spending less time shopping and more time living. And so one of my sort of hopes with this virus was that it would knock all this rampant consumerism down a couple of pegs, and because there's no stores, there's no shopping, but there is online. So I think that maybe has backfired a little bit, because there are some items that I occasionally will list on eBay, for example, and with the hope of selling, and they never sell, and all of a sudden all of them are selling. I've made like $250 in the last week alone just selling old crap on eBay, and I almost can't believe it, and I'm happy to sell it, but I'm also a little bit sad because it tells me that people really aren't dialing back and reining in their spending, and I'm worried that as soon as we can go back to our rampant consumerism, we will. So even if one person watches this video and says, I'm going to make a change because of that, I think that would be really cool. So some of the silver linings for me. I already work from home, as I think most of you know. I trade stocks. So in that regard, nothing's changed. I don't have a commute. I don't have to wake up early. I don't have an alarm that goes off. Stock market opens at 9:30. I wake up at like 9:25. I don't have to sit in traffic. I'm not cranky by the time I get to work. I don't have to own suits and ties. I don't have a dry cleaning bill. I'm not running errands on the weekends anyway. So in that regard, nothing's changed for me, although I would wager it has for some. And I'm hopeful and optimistic that for some people, they're maybe looking at this going, there's a balance here. And it's not, we always say it's a work-life balance, right? Putting emphasis on work. And my big thing was always putting emphasis on life first. So instead of a work-life balance, maybe have a life-work balance. And maybe, I don't know how, that would be something you would have to answer. But how can we dial back the work a little bit? It depends, I guess, on what your job is, what responsibilities you have. I work for myself. I don't have a boss. I don't have a quota. I don't have deadlines. I don't have anything like that. I don't have meetings. I don't have colleagues that I dislike. I don't have a boss that micromanages or drives me nuts. I don't have any of that. So for me, the things that have changed, the silver linings are a little different. So I drive to the gym. It's the only place that I go during the day, and it requires that I drive. And my gym is closed. Everyone's gym is closed. So even if my gym was walking distance from my house, I still wouldn't be able to go. Silver lining with that is, I'm driving way less. I'm almost not driving at all. There's a grocery store that way, and it's 5 minutes from my house. It's not Whole Foods, but it's good enough. And I'm not going to drive to the Whole Foods, if I can walk to the place that's right up the street from my house. That's silver lining number one. I'm not driving at all, which is way good for the environment. Silver lining two is I'm not spending money on gas, which is great for me. I didn't really drive that much anyway, but I am driving less. Silver lining three, as a result, I called my insurance company and I said, hey, I'm driving way less, lower my rate, give me, less coverage. So that's an added bonus as well, and something you should consider doing too. The other silver lining is that I think I might have been a little stuck in my gym routine. I have everything at my disposal at my gym. I can leg press 900 pounds if I want. I can do leg extensions. I have a variety of machines, and I get kind of in a routine, and I get kind of in a habit. And so I walk into the gym, it's Monday, it's chest and back day, and I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I kind of go through the motions. Even though I love working out, even though I love lifting really heavy, I still find myself going through the motions and occasionally at the gym trying to come up with a way to tweak things slightly. Now that the gym is closed and I don't have my 90-pound dumbbells anymore, I don't even have a bench in my house. I live in a very small apartment, so there's no room to have a gym. Otherwise, I might even consider having one as a backup. The only equipment that I had in my house was a kettlebell, a 40-pound kettlebell. And when they announced that the gyms were closing, I panicked and I went online and I ordered some resistance bands. So I have some resistance bands. Those are very different from free weights. And my whole workout routine kind of changed. I also have a stationary bike in my bedroom, which I can't show you because I can't do a flip cam right now, but I'll post later. And it's no Peloton, and it doesn't need to be. You know, the workout that you get isn't from the bike, it's from the working out itself. You can get an equally good cardio workout on the $150 fold-up bike that I got on Amazon that you probably could get on a Peloton. Maybe it would be a little better on a Peloton, but doesn't justify the cost in my book. And the spin classes are free on YouTube from the Global Cycling Network. They're really good. So I've had to revamp my whole workout routine. That's a silver lining. Shake things up a little bit. That's a silver lining. The fact that I've been doing more cardio is a silver lining. I haven't been going out for dinner. That's really the only thing I miss. And I imagine that once this virus is over, I will be going back out for dinner. But maybe a little less. Maybe I was spending too much, if we're being honest, eating out. I was going out. I have a couple of friends. We like to try different restaurants. And I was going out 2 to 3 times a week. And that's expensive, especially in DC. I haven't been doing that as much. I've been buying more groceries. I love to cook. I think I'm a really good cook. So I've been cooking more. I've been going on websites like Bon Appetit and finding 5 ingredient or less recipes and making those. So that's a silver lining. I've been cooking more. I've been experimenting a little bit more because, hey, if I miss Korean food, maybe I can make some Korean food. If I, normally I would go out for that sort of stuff. I'm making it at home now. So I'm enjoying that as well. And I don't say these things to downplay the seriousness of this virus. Obviously, it's bad. Obviously, people are dying, and that's very frightening and sad. But you have to find the silver linings. You can't just sit around. I read an article earlier today that said most people during this virus are smoking a lot more pot than they normally do. I don't know, maybe that is a good thing, but they're also drinking a lot more. They're eating a lot more junk, and they're playing video games, and they're just kind of rotting in front of the TV, which is fine. Maybe we needed those things, right? Maybe like after a prolonged period of not sleeping, one day you are out for like 15 hours. Maybe you really needed that. And maybe there's going to be some common ground or middle ground when this is all over where we'll look back and we'll say, okay, obviously I have to return to work, but I kind of liked the freedom that I had. I kind of liked a little bit more me time. I kind of liked that I was cooking more or exercising a little differently or spending more time with my family or whatever. And hopefully we're not able to focus on work so much, and we're able to come out of this virus maybe in a month or 4 or a year from now, whenever it may be, and have a little perspective and find that we've liked having a little more quality time, a little more downtime, a little less go, and a little more life-work balance. So if you liked this video and you're watching it on Instagram, cool, and thank you. And if you're watching it on YouTube, sorry I didn't turn the screen sideways. I didn't think this video would go so long, but if you're watching it on YouTube, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Have a good night, and I'll check in later. Bye.